to share everything that I just shared with all my modelingo friends. So for those of you that don't speak Spanish, I'm back here to now share with you in English. So this is Shashina Gonzalez with Vida Activa, your favorite holistic wellness coach. And today we have a topic that has to deal with emotional wellness. So as usual, as you join, as you come in, make sure you say a hi, a hello, a wave. Let me know what city and state that you are watching me from. And if you're watching the replay, no matter what venue, if it's later on Instagram, Facebook, or YouTube, hashtag replay. So I know that you came and stopped by. So today we are talking about how to deal with burnout, because I've had several conversations with different friends, and it seems like everyone is experiencing a little bit of this right now. So I know that I've been feeling like I'm not operating at like my highest level, and it's been like a while that I've not been operating at my highest level. And I was just waiting to get over it, but I'm realizing that I probably have some type of mental burnout. So as usual, a lot of times when I'm coming here to talk to you, all I'm doing is talking to myself and seeing if there's anyone else that needs the information that I'm sharing with them. So I found an amazing article, which is what I usually do. And it stated, and it's for the times that we're living in, right? So all of the resources in the world can't prevent an inevitable amount of stress. No matter how well informed or prepared you are, you're going to feel the effects of stress, especially in such a long-term stressful situation, which is what we're under with the world changing, right? So what exactly is burnout? So brain burnout isn't the same thing as being overly stressed. It can be caused by prolonged periods of being stressed. However, the symptoms must be different. Burnout is most commonly seen in people who are overworked or having difficulty separating their home and work life, says Dr. Ron Bonstetter, Senior Vice President of Research and Development of whatever article this must be. Unlike general stress, brain burnout manifests as emotional damage, suppression, detachment, and depression. And I know for sure I have been feeling almost all of these things recently. So since so many people have been working remotely and are struggling to adjust, burnout is on the rise, and it is not something to be taken lightly. So I think this is one of the major things that happens to me. I have so many things to do in front of these things, right? I'm doing my business right now in front of these things. I do my job in front of this thing. And the interesting thing too is like I'm an extreme extrovert, and I've been able to like get a little bit of what I need. But then it's like when I come back, it's like Sunday night, I'm like happy. Ooh, I got the people. Like I went to Bowling Green Plant and I got to be with people. And then I went over to my parents' house afterwards and I got to go out to dinner with a couple people. And so it's like Sunday night, I come back and Monday morning and I'm like, oh, I love my life and it's wonderful. And then Tuesday after that, it's like all the way down. So, and why is that? Okay, so the article mentions extroverts first, so that it's clear, are energized by other people and the world around them. They enjoy expressing themselves, communicating with others, making connections, talking through problems, and are relatively optimistic according to Healthline. Extroverts might be direct, outgoing, dynamic, or pioneering, or a combination of these traits. That's totally me. Introverts, on the other hand, are energized from their own presence. They prefer time alone, careful consideration, avoiding conflict, and lots of me time. Introverts might be reflective, reserved, steady, or precise, or again, a combination of that. So what does burnout look like for extroverts? Extroverts begin to suffer burnout most often when the work and or personal relationships are stressed or hampered, explained Dr. Bonstetter. This can be when they're unable to meet, connect, and enjoy the company of friends, family, and coworkers on a regular basis. So this is why. So it's kind of strange because like for me, okay, I'm at home. Supposedly I have less stuff, but the less I'm able to enjoy the actual company of my friends, family, and coworkers, the more burnout I feel because I'm doing too much task stuff in front of these things. That's what makes me feel burned out. So they often begin to feel emotionally off and struggle with tiredness, emotionally blunted, and depression. Yeah, and that's what happens to me. Like I will just get like not want to get out of bed. I get tired, definitely emotionally blunt, stuff like that. So how can extroverts fight off burnout. A big way extroverts can fight burnout is by acknowledging their own feelings and communicating with others, which is why I'm doing this with you guys right now. As well as on Sunday, I was in a group coaching and we were all talking about this. And I was like, oh, that's catharsis. Okay, this is normal. We all feel like this as extroverts. Making genuine emotional connections right now is more important than ever. Call an old friend, reconnect with friends in a socially distant hang, or write some letters. Which again, thankfully, I have been able to do that. It's just when I come back, what I need to do is make a plan to be like, okay, what is the next thing that I get to look forward to so that I don't fall back into that hole as an extrovert? When it comes to acknowledging your feelings, that self-awareness is more important than ever. The emotional bluntness or numbness might feel like coping, but it actually means you are ignoring your feelings. Shoving down your emotions will only speed up the process toward burnout. Increase your self-awareness and let yourself feel your feelings. Remember that all feelings end eventually. So even if things feel particularly bleak right now, it's going to change in the future. So one of the things that I know I need to do more of is like journaling, because I need to feel the feelings and I need to make sure that I'm expressing them rather than just accepting the emotional bluntness, and then taking the time to do those things. Like, again, when I'm not able to connect with people, making sure that I do take time to write some letters or try to call and text people more. For me, it seems like it hasn't given me as much fulfillment. Like, I really just need to be in the presence of people. And so I have to balance it and make sure that I do enough. So what does burnout look like for introverts? So introverts begin to suffer burnout when their daily routines or work and life balance are disrupted for extended periods of time. This is obviously and unfortunately something we have all been handling for the last 6 months. So I know that, like, for some introverts that are like, they live by themselves, they're like, oh, did the world change? I'm good. But some introverts who, like, all of a sudden had all their kids and all the people home, for them, it was such a disruption. And that's where, like, some of their angst came from. And even we had a little work meeting for my day job. People were talking about how sometimes they need to take stuff in the car or just go for a drive and do certain things just to help with that. So, when this happens, introverts often begin to feel a lack of motivation. They struggle with creativity and new ideas and can begin to feel a sense of helplessness and hopelessness. These feelings result in anxiety, depression, and a heightened sense of dread. So how can introverts fight burnout? Introverts suffering from a lack of routine need to take matters into their own hands. Wake up at the same time, take a lunch break away from your work, exercise and handle chores, and make sure to actually sign off from work when your day is done. The stricter you can be with your day-to-day, the better off you will be. Another way introverts can battle burnout is to give their creativity a boost. Their internal world is very important, since that is precisely where introverts gather their energy. Try to tackle creative blocks by learning an entirely new skill, studying a different language, taking up painting or sculpting, or trying to teach yourself a complicated recipe are all mindful grounding activities and might subconsciously get the creative juices flowing. So what else can you do to combat burnout? Introverts and extroverts alike need to handle their stress before it results in true brain burnout. The good news is that you've already started by listening to this video. And like, I don't feel like I'm not in a depressed mood. I didn't feel like, oh, I can't get out of bed. Like, I haven't been feeling like that. But I've just, again, when I started, I felt like I'm not operating at my top level. And so I'm like talking to other people and they're all feeling like this, especially like my extroverted friends. And I'm like, okay, it's going in that direction. So what can I do to bring it back, right? So in this time, the importance of mental health cannot be overstated. Stigmas around therapy and psychiatry have improved in recent years, but are not entirely eliminated. So if you are truly struggling right now, if you've gotten to the point of depression, then make sure that you seek out help from a professional. Because just in the same way that we get regular physicals at a general practitioner, regular checkups for mental health are a great proactive measure. So one of the most important things is make sure that you have a plan for self-care. So that's one of the things that thankfully we kind of can do a little bit more of. And those are the things that do help me, because I do have to make sure that I disconnect very frequently. And then, of course, there's always just some extra tools that you should have on hand that can give you an extra boost. We always talk about what plants we can use to support us. So I actually looked up in the area of aromatherapy what things would be very good to help with concentration and eliminating this mental burnout. And so there were actually very simple things, and the things that I usually don't put in my diffuser. Like right now, it's all about immune support. It's all about respiratory support. So I got stuff that are going to make my respiratory system be amazing the majority of the time in the diffuser. And some of the times I have been putting things that are just emotional blends in there as well. But because I was just traveling, I had the mask on, that affects my breathing, and so a lot of respiratory support. But I'm going to add on, after I put my stuff with the respiratory support in my diffuser, some of these things, which are cheap and simple and easy and are going to help prevent the mental burnout. So things like peppermint. So peppermint actually is not one that I usually put in the diffuser. It's not even one that I use. Like, I usually put a drop when I'm like traveling and eating. I might put a drop of this in my food, or if I feel like I have some tummy stuff, I might use it, but it's not really one that I put into the diffuser a lot. So using this to help with the mental is going to be super good for me. The other ones that were mentioned were Citrus Fresh, which is one that I love. And I actually did used to put this in a diffuser a lot, or put this even in like shower gel. So I'm going to remember. And then we also have some citrus like shower steamers, I think. So I might get those. But yes, this is another one that's going to kind of bring you out of that fog and give you a little bit of happy. And any of the citrus like grapefruit, lemon, again, all super cheap stuff. And then the last one they mentioned is cedarwood. I hate cedarwood or whatever fiber of my being. I tried to diffuse at night an entire bottle and I still dislike it. So I don't think I have a cedarwood right now, but cedarwood is another really cheap one, but it's also just so good for mental stuff. So I'll probably get me another bottle of cedarwood. But those are the tips that I want to share with you guys. As usual, thank you so much for joining me. And do not forget, make sure you give me a hi, hello. Let me know what city and state you are watching this from. And if you are watching the replay, hashtag replay. And definitely, if you're not yet following me on YouTube, make sure you hop on YouTube. It's just my name, Tashina Gonzalez. And subscribe and click the bell for notifications so that you can get more amazing videos just like that. Thank you guys again for joining me and have an amazing evening. Bye.